Okay. So this is going to be doing a tone surface. So I'm going to begin again just because I want to share this with the group. So you're going to use the side of your charcoal and you're going to tone your paper. You might have to do multiple layers to get a nice tone. Then by holding your charcoal between your thumb and your finger, you're going to search a circle out by making a round shape. Draw large. If you're using your 18 by 24 paper, this should be a basketball size ball or a softball size ball. Try to use your page. On the tone surface, you can add more charcoal to get a darker dark. So right now I'm trying to do the crack underneath the cast shadow of the object. Let's imagine the light is coming from here. And then I'm going to do the core shadow. And it's going to be narrower at the bottom and top. So it's going to taper like the crescent shape of a crescent moon. All the phases of the moon are actually the different positions of light on a sphere. It's kind of cool how they correlate. And you know, I'm a sculptor, so I love to use my fingers. Some people prefer a blending stump, so they'll use like this blending stump. That's fine, but I like to get my hands in it because I'm a sculptor. So I'm gonna just keep adding layers to darken this core shadow. Then I have my reflected light here, which is a little lighter. It's about a level 4. The value scale is explained in the earlier video that you'll watch. And then I'm going to take my kneaded eraser. So you can use a kneaded or a white eraser. But the kneaded eraser is a gray eraser that comes in your pack that you stretch and fold. Okay, so I'm going to stretch and fold it to clean it. And I'm going to use the subtractive method. And I'm going to take away so that I get the highlight to pop out. Then around that, I'm going to blend so I get a lighter tone to merge with that highlight. Then if I really want a bright white, I can always use my white eraser and I can really go back in there. But for now, I'm not really worried about it. Okay. And then if I want, I can darken around the back of my sphere to make a more unified drawing, and that light can cut the edge then. So I can go back in and I can take my kneaded eraser and make it a really thin pressed edge like that, and I can just go in and I can cut the light on that bright edge to get a nice crisp shape. I can come in with my charcoal in the background and I can add so that I get that nice crisp edge of my sphere. It's not looking very round today, but I'm also drawing upside down, so. But if you have any questions, oh, and notice wherever I touch, I disrupt the paper. So I'll have to go back and add some in the background to touch it up. But it helps if you're working on a drawing board and you end up taping your paper down. That avoids you touching it as much as I'm touching it today. But for the demonstration, I'm kind of using this tabletop. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to try this subtractive method of using tone. So by subtractive, I mean you're adding charcoal down and then you're using your eraser to bring in the highlight, or you're using your finger to add light to that reflected light area. Okay? Now, if you're working with pencil, you'll just have to lay in your tones like you normally would when you're drawing in pencil. So, but the nice thing about Vine Charcoal is that you can start again so easily, right? I can wipe this out and I can just begin again. If I don't like what I've done or I don't like how the gradient is, I can just restart very easily. And the advantage to the Vine Charcoal is that I can, in a very short amount of time, get a plastic rendered form. that in pencil, getting all these gradients would take you quite a while, but I could quickly just bring back my drawing, you know, and I can spend more and more time perfecting it, but I can get something that looks really round in a really short amount of time with the Vine charcoal. So that's why we're going to use the charcoal. It's a more painterly approach, but given the time we have in class and we want to create these very plastic three-dimensional still life drawings for our portfolios, so we want to be able to draw quickly, make changes quickly. And then this is why you need the hairspray. So in the end, you're going to spray this drawing so that you have that hairspray is going to fix your drawing into one place so that it doesn't rub away so easily like that. Okay. Chat me up if you have questions. And trying to think if there was anything else. Oh yeah, I want to show you quickly a value scale. You can watch the video, but since we have a little bit of time, so if I wanted to do a 6-part value system here, I've got my 5 values, and then this will be the white of my paper. So I'll take my chamois and I'll pop up that white. So this is going to be my white. And then this one I'll get a little lighter. What you can also do with your kneaded eraser in the subtractive method, which is awesome, is you can just use it like a stamp, and you can stamp down on the drawing and just lift that charcoal to get a little bit lighter. So this will be the white of my paper. This will be my lighter tone. I'll go down here and I'll add my darkest dark. Now, if you just add the charcoal directly and then don't rub it in, you'll get a real dark, and you can kind of blow the dust away, but it'll be very fragile. So if I bump this, or if I touch it with my hand, the charcoal will be removed. So it's a little better to saturate your paper by adding layer after layer of tone. That's a little more stable method, but just be aware when you do that, that means you can't lift as easily, so you won't be able to erase. The more saturate your paper is, the less you can erase. So I'm just saturating this paper again with charcoal, trying to get darker and darker tones as I go. If I go too dark, I can always just lift gently with my kneaded eraser or my chamois a little section. If I want some crisp corners, I can go in with my blending stump and I can crisp up the edges of things, because my fingers, that's the disadvantage of using your fingers, they can't always get into the narrow areas. So if I want to, I can add some crispness to my corners by working with that. You can also work subtractively to crisp up your edges. So I can go like this, and I can crisp up the entire scale. So I hope that was helpful. So let me stop my screen share. And we have a few more minutes. What I'd like you to do, use the soft charcoal, and you want to use the Vine charcoal that looks like this, and it's a little stick. You don't want to use the charcoal pencils for this exercise if you have them. If you don't have your kit, you're going to use regular pencil. Okay, let's see that again, Andrew. Is that your pencil kit? Okay, you're on mute, so I can't hear you, but you can draw with pencil.
It's graphite is what that is, not charcoal.
Okay. Do you have your Vine charcoal or not yet?
No.
Okay, so go ahead and use the graphite for today, but make sure you order some soft Vine charcoal, because we're going to be doing our large drawings with that in the future. And so you're going to follow the instructions where you use the H's to the B's to the F to get your different values. Okay, Andrew? Excellent. You can draw now. Sorry, I'm just reading the questions. Draw about as big as a softball or a little bigger if you are drawing on your 18 by 24 paper. If you're drawing on your sketchbook, you'll have to draw small. Just try to utilize the whole page. You can draw now while I'm doing it, or you're going to be drawing in the next 2 hours, okay? You're going to do a sphere that you will show me at 5, because I'm going to send you another Zoom link at 5 for the sphere. And then if you finish the sphere early, your other assignment today is to complete the layers. So watch that layer video and complete that. That you may choose to do in pencil. That may be easier as a pencil assignment. So I know a lot of you don't have charcoal right now. So if you want the pencil, that's fine. Yeah, go ahead. If you have your charcoal pad, cover the paper in charcoal. You can leave a good border, you know, of white, but draw a frame, then take the side of your charcoal and you'll use like a whole stick just to tone the background, okay? And then you tone the background, maybe do a couple layers, and then use your subtractive method where you go in with the eraser and you pull out the lights and add in some darks. And then you're going to also do your value scale along the side of the paper. Okay, these are really good questions. Sorry I didn't see them until now. Awesome. When using the charcoal, is there a certain size? So what I do is I'll take the stick and I break it in half. So it's about a couple inches. The paper you should use is 18 by 24 if you have it. If you don't have it, that's okay. All right? So I've got less than a minute on my Zoom. I will put in the announcement, a 5 o'clock Zoom meeting. I want to see your work then. Happy drawing. Enjoy our first class. Sorry I'm not over your shoulder like saying, do this, do that. Okay? Bye, guys. I'll see you at 5.